Okay, we're going. We're live.
Okay.
Or, well, we're recording, I guess.
Okay. How, could we do, like, Facebook Live sometime?
We could, but it's a giant pain in the ass.
Oh. Why?
Well, it's hard to record a Facebook Live. So, like, when we have to stop and pee or something like that, or get another drink,
That happens.
you can't stop a Facebook Live. Or if something goes terribly wrong, like, I don't know, the dogs go crazy because somebody knocks on something, we can't cut that on a Facebook Live.
People like that, though.
Right, for a Facebook Live, but if you're trying to record a podcast, it's hard to make a file out of a Facebook Live and upload it to the podcast server.
But I think it'd be cool if people were just staring right at your face the entire time.
All right, so have you ever watched like some of the podcasts, like the Joe Rogan podcast on YouTube, where it cuts back and forth? Mm-hmm. They use what's called a TriCaster, and I'm like, shit, maybe I need a TriCaster. I'd be down for that because I want to do this more and more. Mm-hmm. $45,000.
Well, what are you trying to say?
Hard
you don't
no.
have that?
Yeah, hard no.
Oh.
I searched around and I found one that was $945.
Oh, still.
And I'm like, awesome. No, I'd spring for that.
Really?
And it turned out it was just new software for if you had the TriCaster hardware. It was a software update. So I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll figure this out. But honestly, we have to do more than one a year for that to even be viable.
Well, we are on number 2 for this year.
Actually, number 3.
Oh, yeah, Piper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whom we had to bribe to be in bed right now.
Right.
And that kind of still didn't work, but...
She's probably tired out. She'll go to bed. She'll go to sleep, hopefully. Unless at some point she just comes wandering in here in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen.
I don't know what you want to talk about, but I am really angry.
Okay. I know shit. Because you have been a grump all night.
I've just
to the point where Piper said to me, Mom, why is Dad so mad? I'm like, I don't know. But it's going to be okay. Like, Dad is a grump tonight.
This whole COVID, Corona, Wuhan, China virus, whatever you want to call it, bullshit, is pushed me to my limit of anger.
Okay, why? From what's the difference between right now versus the last one we did?
Because at the start of this, all the information that they gave us, and by they, I don't even know who the fuck that is. They was, basically, if you look at somebody across the room, you're going to get COVID and one of you are going to die, is kind of the way they made it sound. And now it turns out the death rate is not even 1%, but it's a number that begins with a point and at least 10. So of a percent, you're 0.02, 0.06, which is terrible. Nobody, it just sucks. Nobody wants anybody to die. But as you go further, all the numbers are inflated. All this information keeps coming out and I feel like either we have the most inept leaders ever, or we're part of the biggest work ever. And either way, I am fucking furious. I mean, they shut our state down on March 15th or 16th, whatever that was, closed the schools. So for 40 some days, we've been shut down. We can't live like normal. We're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to do that. Over something that is and has, and honestly, so the one caveat to this is that they did do the shutdown. So there's people that argue that they shut everything down and that prevented it from getting really, really bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. But why aren't there stories of whole supermarkets getting the COVID because they didn't shut down, or Home Depots, or Jesus Christ.
Well, there's
nothing
not
against
that,
Costas, but
like
I've never
meat.
seen Costas Hardware more busy in my entire life,
That's awesome.
which is good for them.
But, yeah.
But like, if this is really that transmittable, whatever that word is.
But so what about like the meat packing plants that are now coming out? That
All right,
like,
so one of the frustrating things with that is, so they have 1,000 employees and 3,000 or 300 of them test positive for COVID. So there's this weird narrative that when you test positive, it's a terrible, terrible thing. But they don't say that 300 people died out of 1,000. 300 tested positive.
right, but
And then, hang on one second.
Okay.
There was that aircraft carrier that, remember that a little bit ago, that general or the commander of it got fired for bringing it up.
no.
But so long story short, there was an aircraft carrier that a large majority of the people on the ship tested positive for COVID, and nobody was sick.
Okay.
So
Okay. But aircraft carrier versus meat packing plant. If they say somebody who's a carrier touches blah 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 blah, whatever, that goes to somebody that will have symptoms, that would be terrible.
do we do that in the normal flu season? Are you worried
know.
if somebody at the hot dog factory got flu that you're going to catch
Love hot
flu?
dogs. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. Well,
We've never worried about it for decades or maybe even centuries.
oh, no, but they originally were telling us that this can outlive everything, but now supposedly if you get it in the sun, it's dead. But I don't know.
So I put something together this week that has made me so unbelievably angry. And this is like the beginning of the source of my anger.
Everyone, please help me.
So earlier this week, there was or I guess it was on Friday, the whole thing about the president saying that we should drink bleach or whatever the fuck. That whole thing. So what was funny about it was, I don't remember what night that exactly happened, but whatever that night was, we
Friday
ended.
night.
Was it
Because
Friday?
that's when we did the podcast. And
No, because I went to work the next day. I bet it was Thursday.
okay.
I
Somewhere
know.
around there.
Yeah, I know it was Thursday night. So Thursday night, I guess we're probably gonna get arrested if I say this, but we ended up going over to our neighbor's house and helping them do some things, and we completely missed. We've been watching the president's press conference things every day. So I wake up the next morning, and my fucking news feed is just filled. Like 9 out of 10 stories are President Trump said people should drink bleach. People are going to die. Can you believe President Trump?
Lysol, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So I'm getting ready for work or whatever, and I'm like, I can't believe, for starters. And then there's stories like Lysol comes out, don't drink our bleach or don't drink our product. So there's stories coming out nonstop, and I'm like, I can't believe the president would have told people that they should drink bleach. But I didn't see it, so I get to work. I pull the press conference up and I just let it play. So the press conference is, I want to say, at least 2 hours, pretty close to 3 hours long. Somewhere, I think it's around an hour, hour and a half, somewhere in that zone. He's from Homeland Security or something like that, which seemed kind of weird to me that Homeland Security is doing tests, but basically, he gets up and he says, we're happy to report we've done a bunch of tests. Sunlight, UV rays, if you go outside, if the virus is on a surface, a hard surface, it'll die within a minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit long. He went on longer than this, but the next thing he says is most common cleaning agents will kill it within 5 seconds. So if you were cleaning something with Lysol or something like that, within 5 seconds it's gone. So President Trump's wheels up and he says, wow, that's really good to know. He goes, I'm wondering if there's something we can do with UV light. Maybe you can expose a body to UV light. Will that help them? And he's looking at the doctors, Fauci and Birx. And he's like, who knows? Maybe there's some sort of something we can inject that would act the same way and
do the same
thing.
Yeah.
And so he goes on to talk a little bit. And then a fucking reporter goes, I have a question for the Homeland Security guy. And he goes, so are you suggesting that people should ingest or drink household cleaners?
Yeah, of course.
And the guy's like, no, that's not, I wouldn't. And it took him, the question is so fucking ridiculous that it took him off guard a little bit. And Trump's like, no, nobody is saying that you should drink anything. I was just merely thinking out loud. Maybe there's some way that we can clean the body.
Well,
and
this whole process, would it not be, through all of this, wouldn't it just be a session of brainstorming? Talking about, would this work? Would this work? Would this work? No one would ever say, let's drink fucking Lysol.
Well, the weird thing is,
like,
that
why
the
is
question,
that what everyone honed in on?
The question from, I'll tell you why. I'll break this down because people don't understand it, and this is what I got really mad about this week. The question that the reporter asked was the headline, not the answer. He asked, are you saying that people should drink bleach? Basically, let's boil it down.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, absolutely not. I don't know how you got that conclusion, but you absolutely should not. Next day, like I said, I woke up. Donald Trump says you should drink bleach. I'm like, what the fuck? So let me break something down for you that I just kind of put together through the weekend, and it's something, so I've always been involved in websites and internet stuff pretty much since the beginning. I was selling stuff on the internet. I had a website in 1998. Okay? So I was there from the beginning. I remember my mom got a computer and we were on AOL in 1990 on Yahoo and all that stuff. So I feel like I've seen the whole thing progress, and I've been asleep at the switch several times, held probably a gold mine in the palm of my hand and didn't realize it, and kind of understand how it works. So here's the fuckery in all this. Do you realize that, we'll just say, whoever that reporter was, I'm pretty sure it was a CNN reporter, they get paid every time somebody clicks on their story, every time somebody watches their YouTube clip. So it would behoove them
Yes.
the most ridiculous shit and spin it in the most ridiculous way. So that when I wake up in the morning, because I did it in 5 different ones, I did it. I saw Donald Trump says you should drink bleach. And I'm like, no fucking way, that's crazy. So I clicked on it. And I'm sure other people are like, yeah, that guy's a fucking asshole. I'm sure he did. And clicked on it. And every single time, they get fucking paid. So no matter what, they get paid. If you click on their story, and if you've noticed, when you go to CNN or Fox or any of them, there's always a video that pops up that's a commercial that somebody's paying them to put up. Or if you go to YouTube, they get paid per view. So if I can ask, it's suddenly like, So we talked about George Peters last time. So George Peters, I wrote something on Facebook about after I went and watched the video, I'm like, I cannot believe that anybody is like believing this shit. Like it's so out of context and just crazy. And so he wrote a very thoughtful thing back, and he says they put up these stories. I hate Donald Trump, and immediately I'm sucked in. Like immediately I see Donald Trump says you should drink bleach, and I'm I have to click on it. I have to read it. Like, yeah, that fucking asshole. I have to read it. And I do it every time, and I get sucked in every time. So they're going out of their way, all of them are, to find shit that we will click on so they can make money. It's fucking gross. So the reporter's job, classically, a reporter was to go to the scene of something, an event, whatever it is, and report back what happened. And at some point, this got morphed into everybody's kind of giving their perspective on it, or it's almost like an editorial in the paper. There's not like news anymore. It's all editorials. And basically, nobody went to the press conference and said, well, geez, the facts are they reported that sunlight kills the virus. There's 20,000 more ventilators, and just reported the facts of it. They were reporting their spin of it. Instead of going, there's 20,000 more ventilators, they said 3 days ago there's going to be 40,000, but they only said today there's 20,000. These guys are scumbags, which makes certain groups click on it and vice versa.
Okay, but also to add to all the confusion on the whole thing, when he was seriously asked about it, what was his response?
He said, no, absolutely not. That's not what
He said, I was being
sarcastic.
Yes.
The next day.
Which is ridiculous. Why didn't he just say, you all clearly know that is not what I was telling you to do?
So
why?
Two things there.
Why would he say that?
He said, his exact quote was, I was saying something sarcastic to the doctors to get the media going, and also being sarcastic to the doctors. So think about this for a minute. I thought the exact same thing when I saw
why?
it. So when I saw it, I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, you could have easily yelled the fake news thing. Been like, you guys took this out of context. You said you took this out of context. Fake news. Mm-hmm. But he's like, no, sarcasm. So what would be sarcastic about looking at those two doctors and going, hey, have you guys thought about injecting people with Lysol to, solve this?
But that's not what he said.
No, wait. But what would be sarcastic about looking at those two doctors and saying, have you thought about injecting Lysol to solve? What's he trying to say to him?
Is there a way to seriously figure out?
No, not if he's being sarcastic.
I don't know.
If you're being sarcastic, it means, have you tried this yet to kill more people? Like the ventilators? Yeah. So there's reports coming out, lots of reports, that putting people on ventilators is actually worse. It kills them. And this is the beautiful thing about this day and age. You're right now, you're listening to me and being like, John's drunk, he's talking shit. Nope. Fucking go Google it. Doctors all over the place are coming out and going, hey, I don't think that we should be putting people on these ventilators.
Well, no, I know.
It makes it incredibly worse.
We've even had inside people within our family say possibly ventilators are not the best.
Right. So
who are in the medical field.
Right. So is he looking at those two doctors? I always feel like either I'm stuck somewhere between, and I realize this is a wide range. Donald Trump is completely 3 steps ahead of all these people and fucking with them all the time and laying little traps, or he's just a fucking buffoon. But it's been almost proven over and over again that a lot of the shit that he says and does comes back, and he's like, oh yeah, he was pretty much right about that. So right now, when he's saying like it's not going to be a big deal, to be honest, death-wise, when you start breaking this down, short of the people that were put on vents, a lot of people didn't die from this. That weren't already dying of something else, anyways. So I'm absolutely sure that there's some healthy person out there, or several, that got coronavirus. There was absolutely nothing wrong with them, and they died from it. I wouldn't, I'm not saying that it's not real, but I'm also saying the longer this goes on, and the more information that's coming out. Well, the one that I saw earlier today was in Pennsylvania. We've had 1,700 and some deaths, and I want to say 11 or 1,200 of them were in nursing homes. So I'm really curious, and I haven't done the research. How many people in 45 days normally die in nursing homes?
Possibly a lot.
Across the state, yes. You're dealing with a frail population of people that are, sick or, just old or whatever. So I'm not saying that maybe COVID didn't push them a little quicker, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, we quit working and did all this weird shit for a few hundred people that weren't in nursing homes, but also might have died of a heart attack. Or there's coroners coming out nonstop going, no, nobody died in our county of COVID. This guy died of a heart attack. That guy had a liver failure. This guy had cancer. This guy had this. This guy had that. And we're forced, and doctors are coming out saying we're forced to say it's a COVID death every time. There's something wrong. There's something fucking going on.
But how do you find out what it is? Like, I don't know. Like, and then in the middle of the whole thing, hey, here's UFOs.
What the fuck?
Hey, here's UFOs. Yep, they're real.
Yeah.
After all this, like the Area 51 stuff and all the, there's no UFOs, there's no, and now it's, here it is. Like, couldn't that just be a drone? Like, what? I just don't understand. My little brain doesn't
I feel like
compute everything that yours does. But like all these years, it's been no. And then in the middle of all this shit, it's, of
all times.
Here's UFOs.
Of all the times to go, oh yeah, this is definitely our video. I feel like we're going to delve into a conspiracy theory type podcast here real quick. Okay, it's really hard to delve into this stuff without starting, because the problem with our entire world is there's so many different layers and everything's intertwined, and it's so complex that there's just no one single explanation or answer. A lot of it's intertwined.
Okay, but UFOs, really? Like, what? How? I mean, all these years, they've said.
Who's they?
There's no such
Who's
thing.
they?
The government.
Okay.
Have said there's no such thing. We're the only ones here. Blah blah blah.
When did Roswell happen? Let me just Google it real quick.
50?
Roswell UFO. Let's just see. 1947.
Yes.
So There is a thought, and it's growing stronger every day, that our government is controlled by a group of people who basically rig every election. So they're giving us a choice. Well, they're giving us a choice between Barack Obama and George Bush, but they're both on the take. So they really don't...
On the what?
On the take. So they don't care who wins. It's their guy no matter what. And if you do a little bit of research, it seems like this has been going on for a long time. One of the few people... There's really, in the past maybe century, the only people that have really broken this has been JFK, and things didn't turn out well for him when he was basically saying, I'm going to expose all this, I'm not going to let this happen, I'm not going to let wars happen for no reason. So that didn't work out. And there's a really good documentary I keep posting on my Facebook, and people keep thinking I'm fucking crazy. But it's one of the best. I'm not a conspiracy person. I am a anti-conspiracy person. I always think that the most easily explainable thing is the answer. So when I start getting into conspiracies, I'm just like, you're just making fucking leaps that don't make sense.
So you're saying Carol Baskin did not kill her husband?
What do you think? What makes sense there?
Definitely.
1,000% that bitch
Right.
killed her husband.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But so there's a documentary called excuse me, from JFK to 9/11 that we watched there or whatever, and it's one of the first ones I've ever watched about the JFK assassination, and I've watched a million of them, and you're like, holy fuck, like this makes a lot of sense. They're not taking leaps that you have to believe some crazy shit, that they interject aliens halfway through it or some shit where you're like, okay, you fucking lost me. But there's a strong section of that shows that George Bush the senior was in the CIA and was active in Dallas that day and might be very complicit in the whole thing. So that was in the 60s, and we're talking Roswell from 47 on. And I'm sure people right now are losing their mind a little bit, like, John's fucking crazy. But from then forward, the government's been controlled by somebody that's always their winner. The people that control the things, it's always their winner. So they're giving you the choice. Go and vote. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. Like, whichever side you pick, our guy. You pick Bill Clinton, our guy. You pick George Bush, our guy. The only one that maybe in the mix since JFK is Ronald Reagan. Somebody did shoot him, didn't kill him. So, but George Bush was his vice president. So, it's so weird that the same people have been involved in the highest levels of government forever. The same people for decades. It's kind of weird. Pelosi, Biden, all those guys have been in government forever. So the thought is that nobody expected Trump to win. And if you search around on the internet, there's a whole movement called QAnon and Q drops and all this thing. And I kind of keep up with it. And the thought is that, long story short, Trump's in there working with the military to straighten out the government. And if you want to dive into it and see. The problem with it is, like anything, it's just like the JFK conspiracies. So many of them are so out there that you listen to their stories and you're like, okay. No. That's just crazy talk. You're a crazy person. But a lot of this is stuff that makes a fair amount of sense. But it's curious that the Pentagon, of all places, would come out with a real story. Here's some videos of some UFOs. We don't know what the fuck they are. Well, the entire country is on lockdown. And what's even more curious is nobody gives a fuck.
Not even, it wasn't even, like, covered, really. On, like, mainstream news, it was kind of just, like, a passing, quick story of, and this, and move on.
Well,
like,
the
it was
first,
so weird.
the first main news thing I've seen all night was, we didn't even watch it, was on Laura Ingraham tonight, or whatever her name is. I just saw at the beginning there, she was like, oh, and the Pentagon released these videos.
Mm-hmm.
So these videos got leaked a year or so ago, so they're not like new videos. But they got leaked out there, and it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. And the pilot that was in one of the planes has made some rounds on some different podcasts and shows and stuff talking about it. But for the Pentagon to come out in the middle of a global fucking pandemic and go, oh, guys, here's some shit that flies in the sky. We can't explain how or why it moves like it does. It's faster than anything we have. It defies the laws of physics. Just something for you to watch while you're sitting around shitting your pants, locked in your house, hoping that you don't die. So is it a work? Is it something to distract from something else that's going on? Is it a disclosure of information?
I don't know.
It's so weird. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Like our system, like what I'm hoping, and everybody approaches every situation. I'm just talking a lot. I just realized I'm just going on. It's just John saying things.
Well, is that not what it's called? John says things.
I mean,
Pam listens.
Is that? That's the best name for a podcast ever. Pam just listens. Oh shit! No, I'm just furious over this whole Corona thing. And
dude, you were a complete downer when you came home. You're just angry about everything.
I just the more I said this on the last podcast about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I just came to this realization, like, everything is fucking rigged. It's a fucking game. And it's rigged not in my favor. I don't want to play anymore. I'm fucking tired of it.
Not in your favor as what?
So I'll give you
American citizen, as a business owner, as
a global
male,
human.
As a human.
Across the globe, they have the same shit everywhere. I'll give you a for instance. And I don't feel like it's... I always kind of think the best of everybody. And I don't think it's... I really struggle with it's an evil Illuminati type situation. I feel like it's a disconnected group of people who just want their family to be fed.
Well, of course.
So I'll give you for instance. So I have a bank account that I don't keep a ton of money in. I probably never have more than $500 in it. It's kind of my go out for dinner and have dinner and pay for it out of there. I pay some bills out of it. But basically, it's like my... if I'm going to get a disease in any bank account, it's going to be in that one. So if somebody steals my card number or something happens, it's going to be that one because they can only get so much money. And not that I have massive amounts of money piled up somewhere else, but...
Are you sure?
Fucking positive.
Swear.
So positive.
Promise?
I would have that TriCaster if I had more money.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why I don't have any money.
Okay.
So anyways, so this week, or maybe it was last week, this is how rigged everything is. And this makes no sense. So I had roughly $200 sitting in that bank account. I'm terrible about remembering when auto payments come out.
Weird.
So the car insurance comes out. It's like $210. It comes out of my bank account. God bless the bank. They just paid it and charged me a $32 overdraft fee. Same day, The Netflix subscription comes out, and it's on my credit card, so it shouldn't even have been able to be run, but it goes through for, I don't know what it is, $9 or whatever, 9 something.
I don't know, because you get hit with one, I get hit with 2. It's retarded. Why do we have 3 Netflix accounts? But anyway, go ahead.
So it goes
Sorry.
through. I get hit with another overdraft fee of $32. Same day, a Hulu thing goes through for $4.95.
$4.
$4.95. $32 charge. I want to. There was one other thing that went through. I don't remember if it was a GoDaddy thing, or it was an Apple subscription or Amazon thing or something, but it was another $8 charge. They hit me $32 fucking for that. So I just got, in the course of one day, I got charged. So they
let's
could.
do the math.
So they could.
32 times what?
4 or
Something,
5.
yeah.
4. We'll just say 4, which is $128. Is that right?
At
4 times-
120 would be at $30 a pop, but 5 times 4
I think
would be
that's right.
150, right? I don't. Whatever.
No.
Okay.
No, 4 times 3
He's 12.
plus 4 times 2.
20.
What?
Oh, 4 times 5. I thought you meant
No, 4 times 2.
8.
$128.
All right.
So I got hit $128
I thought. Okay. Whatever. Let's go with it.
because the bank was so generous between the hours of 5 p.m. Monday afternoon to 8 p.m. on Tuesday to float me $20. Because it was like $4 and $8 and another $8 and then 10, so they floated me $30. So they charged me $128 to float me $30 for 8 hours or 12 hours or whatever it was. Because the next morning I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck. So I slide some money in there, and I call the bank and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Like, what?
Why'd you let it go through? If
Right.
it
These are
wasn't
on
there?
my credit card. It's not like I wrote a check out. It's not like this is. It's like you. If you went to the store and tried to buy something, your credit card should, or your debit card should be like, nope, you don't have
Yeah.
enough money.
Right.
But somehow you guys let this go through, and not only did you let it go through, but you charged me $32 on a
At
$4
one time.
thing. And the poor girl,
Awesome.
is like, yeah, if it's a reoccurring thing, it just goes right through. And I'm like, well, I slid the money in there. This is ridiculous. Can you help me out with the fees? Nah, there's nothing I can do. It's our thing. So here's what I was saying, why society is fucking broke. They
Yeah,
just
how did we
made
get here? Okay.
they just made $128. I still had to put the $30 in. It's not like they gave it to me. It's not like they gave me $30 and they're like, hey, pay us back $128 later. I paid it the $30 the next morning. I slid it over. They still kept the $128 for giving me $30.
Well.
Do you know what kind of fucking interest that is for 12 hours? It's insanity. And I don't scream at the lady. She's just doing her job. She wants to feed her kids. She wants to have her fucking house payment paid for. She's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to fucking refund all these and lose my job. The bank manager wants to feed his family, wants to pay his bills. He's not going to be like, for everybody, I'm not going to refund all these for John because, I mean, it's fucked, but I'm not going to lose my job because it's bank policy. And then whoever owns the bank, I guarantee, isn't the one that controls this. I guarantee there's some law somewhere that went into action because of some person higher up. So somebody way higher up in the government makes a law that we have to charge a certain amount for overdraft fees, or you can. And then it just trickles all the way down, and we just eat this shit all the time. We eat this shit all the time. And it makes me so unbelievably angry. And usually I'm willing to sail through fucking life and be like, well, that sucks. I should have had more money in there. It's my fucking fault. But it's a system built and propagated on fucking the regular person over and over and over and over and over and over again. Because guess what? Giant fucking Netflix, who has unlimited billions of dollars. Giant fucking Amazon, who, was one of them that was $8 for Amazon Music or whatever, got their fucking money. But it cost me $32 to get it to them because I fucked up and didn't have that in there. And I get the bank's point on some level, like, hey, we can't just be overdrafting. But hey, bank, how about not fucking honoring the charge? If it's on a debit card, and all of a sudden you're like, why would they debit it? Or why wouldn't they kick it out? Oh, fuck. Pam, if you could make $32 every time you had to loan somebody $8, I would have an $8 loan service set up tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And guess who does? All the fucking banks. It's fucking gross. It makes me so fucking angry.
You just said you would do it if you could.
Right. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
The entrepreneur
retracting that statement.
The entrepreneur in me looks at it and goes, "Oh my god, this is a brilliant business they've set up." But it's not a fucking business. You're not trading fucking goods to reason. It's not something that somebody's looking at and going, "Oh, that's really cool. I want to buy that." It's forcing people to give you their money. And arguably the brokest people.
Yeah. Because they're the ones with the overdrafts. Yeah.
Same with credit cards.
So how did this point relate to what we started talking about, which is...
Because I have all of this simmering
I know.
under the skin all the time.
Oh.
Like, this stuff makes me so fucking angry.
I know, honey.
And then all of this COVID shit where they're shutting down the world over bullshit.
Tops it all off.
And then on top of it, when I watch places like Amazon get richer from this thing, it makes me unbelievably angry. Amazon, that's paid no fucking taxes for decades, suddenly turns into the biggest fucking thing in the world, putting out small mom and pop businesses all over the place, is the one that benefits. Walmart, that we've bitched about putting out local grocery stores and local stores for decades, is our savior in the middle of this pandemic. It's fucking gross. And you know the other gross one that's really pissed me, as long as I'm going the fuck off,
yeah,
is fucking churches through this thing. Churches that are still asking people. I've heard, and just so I don't have to fucking get into a fist fight with a self-righteous Christian who, will turn the other cheek because I said this. I don't mean any of the local ones. I don't even know if a local one around here does it because I'm not paying attention, but I've seen a lot of stories. There are churches that say that you should sign over your stimulus check to the church because, it's like extra money and nobody's been going to the church and they need to survive. I've heard lots of stuff about people getting emails and messages that they've set up PayPal accounts and stuff, so you can still tithe every week and send your money to the church even though you're not going. And the irony is, in all the times in the history of fucking churches, you would think this was the time the church would dip into their money and provide for the community. Or, best case or worst case scenario, the church is poor, which is possible. They don't have a lot of money. I've seen most of the church sermons, a dude sets his cell phone up and goes Facebook Live and gives his sermon. Mm-hmm. It costs him whatever the fucking fee is for his phone that month. He could do it in his bedroom. Why aren't you doing that every day? Why aren't you spreading your message of hope and belief and giving these people that are stuck in their home every fucking day a nice message? Nope. Just on Sundays, normally when I do my quote-unquote job, and send me 10% of your income. It's fucking gross. And you think I'm wrong? Go to your fucking local church. Look up your local pastor and see how many Facebook Lives he's put out. One every fucking Sunday. It's fucking gross. He could be doing that every day for free if that's what he really believed in. And they don't. It's a fucking gig. It's a fucking job. And I'm not railing against church. I think it's a nice thing. I was raised Catholic, and I kind of reached the same fucking conclusion that my kid did about Easter. About the same age. It's pretty tough to be a thinking person. Pam's like, I'm tapping the fuck out. I'm not doing this. But it's true. I think church is great for community, and people are gonna get pissed off, but I think the idea of church is great. I think the idea of community is great, but I feel like it gets corrupted a lot.
Oh yeah.
And whether you can believe in whatever denomination or God that you believe in, I have no problem with that. And I feel like people getting together and doing good things for each other is a great thing. I feel like community and togetherness is super important.
Sense of right and wrong, and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I feel like it gets corrupted a lot.
Yeah, sure. Just like everything.
Yes.
I actually got a letter in the mail today from my college asking me to send extra in this time because everything that they're having to go through and stuff like that, and it's like, really, you're seriously leaning on alumni at this point to prop you up when really all you have to do, I've talked to how many kids, they're still paying their dorm costs, their apartment costs, their whatever, even though they're not there. Everything is still being paid for when all they're doing is online stuff, which, like you said, costs nothing. And it's like, why?
Well, it costs something, but what was
minimal.
What was your college you went to?
Tuition? No, we're not going
to.
No,
yeah, we are. What's the name of it?
No.
No, just really. No, just for example.
Why?
I'm going to look something up real quick.
Carlo University.
Carlo University.
Really? You visited me there. You're asking me?
I couldn't remember the name.
It was Carlo College back in the day. In 94.
All right. Here is what I find unbelievably enraging. Let me look up one more number. All right. So Carlo College enrolls roughly 2,200 students every year.
It's a very small school.
They have an endowment valued at $28.5 million. The return on the endowment is 9.65%, roughly $2.7 million a year. And they're calling you, who are...
They didn't call me. It was
They're contacting you, who is still paying on your student loans from fucking 20 years ago, to send them money. It's fucking gross. You have $28.5 million. Oh, well, it says in the fucking papers that we can't dip into that because fuck you. Get that fucking money out and you get through this like the rest of us. It's the fucking grossest thing in the world. It's fucking disgusting. And we're all like, no, it's my college. It's fucking gross. Yeah. The whole system's fucking gross. Can you imagine if I had $28.5 million in the bank and I was asking for a fucking SBA loan and I took it from somebody else that didn't have one, didn't have any money in the bank? I'm like, well, bro, I got employees to pay too.
Like Harvard?
Fuck you. They haven't enough of their endowment. The amount of money they make on it a year could probably pay the tuition of most of the students. kids could go to school there for free instead of fucking enslaving them in decades of fucking debt. Everything is a fucking work. I'm just so fucking angry about it. Everything.
You are fun tonight.
I'm tired of it. It's
You
taken
are so much fun. From the time you got home. So what else? By the way, I am eating honey cinnamon cashews because they are delicious.
They're like Cinnamon Toast Crunch nuts.
Yes. Because I'm just inhaling them because I don't really know how to handle my husband when he's so irate about the entire world and there's nothing I can do about it. Usually if he's just like pissed off because he doesn't have any clean underwear, like I can handle that. Like do some laundry, it's all good. But when he's pissed about all this other stuff, I just kind of try to maintain and help him through. But he definitely said he needed to have a podcast tonight, and I knew there was a reason why. And now we are finding out the reasons. It's only Tuesday, and it's been a long fucking week.
True. Okay. So we just had to pause it because our daughter came down. And I kind of feel like everybody's mental health is taking a fucking hit.
To say the least.
You all right?
Yeah. She's just upset. And
what exactly is she upset about?
She had been hollering for me and I couldn't hear her
Mind you, it's midnight right now.
because I'm down here doing this with you, so I didn't hear her hollering that her
Hollering is a very West Virginian thing you just said. Hollering.
Whatever. Her body pillow had fallen out of her bed. And apparently that was the end of the world. And I wasn't there to go in and pick it back up for her, tuck her back in, and put her to sleep. So, but the problem is that she has not been sleeping in her own bed. And this is the child that since she was 7 months old has slept in her own bed until all of this shit hit and everything
She's
hit the
worried
fan. She's worried. She wants to sleep, but she comes up with a reason every single night to sleep with us. I'm just going to put this out there. Mr. Anderson was trying to put my foot down in the beginning and say, no, everything's okay. You need to sleep in your own bed. And you said, I wish you were the mother that would allow her to sleep with us, and I want her to look back on this whole thing, which I totally understand. You said I want her to look back on this whole thing, and my parents, when I was scared, my parents let me sleep in bed with them and blah blah blah, but we've like created a monster to where
I had no idea this would drag out for 40 some days.
True story.
I figured we were going to be like 2 weeks
story.
back to work sort of deal.
Absolutely. I 100% get it, but here we are now into this stage. And so let's also tell everyone this is not a child that just sleeps in a bed. She sleeps completely sideways in a bed that has 45,000 blankets and pillows, and then trying to fit me and you in there. She won't sleep next to her dad because any of our neighbors and everyone that knows us knows John snores. And
Allegedly.
yeah. It gets very warm in the bed with 2 people, much less 3, and it's a whole situation. I've definitely not gotten any sleep. any sleep at all, because I end up in between the two of y'all. Because when she's out, she's out. When you're out, you're out. And it's just, it's a continuing. So I'll just admit my shame, literally tried to bribe her tonight. She said she wanted to have a campfire. I said, okay, we'll have a fire if you sleep in your own bed. Okay. So we have a fire. She bails halfway through the fire, comes inside, playing with her dolls, which is also a long story of, we had some people in the community give her some dolls, which...
Some dolls?
Yeah.
They gave her so much
many
shit.
dolls.
It was so nice of them.
We have so many amazing people in our community, and these two in particular, I can't say enough thank yous.
Good folk.
To the American Girl dolls that they gave her and everything, and she's playing and whatever, but she bailed so she could come in and play some more with these dolls, and then here we are, like, we're completely... if any of the mothers out there can give a shout out, hashtag, what can we do? Hashtag, we're a shit show too. I don't know, because everything is completely off schedule. We're trying to do the school stuff every day. We're trying to, like, keep a sleep routine, mental health thing through the day. I am off work. John is still going to work, kind of. He goes every day, and
we're
to be honest,
quote
John,
unquote closed.
To be honest, John, I feel like you seriously bail out of this house every day just so you don't have to be around us.
That's not true.
You don't have to corroborate that or not, but it's like we are doing the best we can to hold everything together, but I feel like when it all comes down to... Oh, and then I heard today that they were saying, possibly they might reopen schools for a couple weeks. Oh, awesome, because my fucking kid is not going to be anywhere close to being able to pull together a routine.
A regular day.
To get back to... I mean, okay, we'll pull it off, but wow, I'm sorry, teachers. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of swearing, and that's not so much me in the public face.
Oh.
No, it is. I'm talking professionally and in the public face, but wow, like, we are barely holding it together. And the fact that she came down at midnight after she's had a long day, a lot of fun. I totally thought, and a little bit of a bribe, like, I totally thought we were ready.
And she's tired.
Yes, yeah. She's tired. And that's why she got so butthurt. She's like, Dad yelled at me. Meh. So when I put her back to bed, she was still upset. So I wouldn't be surprised if she comes back down, but...
So...
Just, like, so does everybody hear me out there? Like, is it not just... Please tell me it's not just me. Hashtag not just you.
There you go.
Because I can't. I'm trying. And she's a good kid. She really is a good kid. But...
It's hard.
This is hard. And what happens when I go back to work? What's happening there?
So
Are you going to take her? What's the story?
And here's my real fear. So they have... I feel like there's a lot of broken stuff, and this is why I'm sorry if I'm so angry, but like I said, I have all this simmering under the level of expressing it all the time. And as this goes on, and you see just the way our state of Pennsylvania has handled this thing, there's nothing but rage that's starting to build. Like at the beginning, when none of us knew anything, I get it. again, I will give anybody the benefit of the doubt that went, holy shit, I think this is really serious. If they're telling you that, 4% of your population of your state can die, by all means, do whatever you can to save them.
Right.
But once you start getting the information in that it's not true, and then you start... what are you going to say?
No.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Like I was saying, like we said last time, when is the last time you took your temperature with serious concern?
2 weeks ago.
We were stupid about taking temperatures. Like every day, all three of he did it, I did it. We took Piper's temperature. It's an easy thing you put on your temple, it takes your temperature, whatever. Every little symptom, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting sick. Oh my gosh, and now we're just to the oh my gosh, we're not sick. Can we just get back to life?
Right.
There are 5. Are we still on what's
still
today?
5. 40 fucking days.
April 28th, 2020. 5 confirmed sick cases.
No, not sick. Confirmed cases.
Okay. In our county of how many people?
40,000, I think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, go McKean. Sick. And they're all in one
Zip code.
And that is not our zip code. And we're doing all this stuff and everything's disrupted and I'm freaking losing my mind because I feel like I'm becoming this terrible parent that isn't doing anything right. Our kid is somehow being detrimented. Is that a word?
Detrimental?
Detrimented?
Damaged?
Hashtag detrimented. By...
Everybody loves you. They're going to put any hashtag that you say.
No,
everybody is always like...
No, they won't. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, Pam, people are listening. People always tell me hey, I listened to your podcast last night. I'm like, yeah, what'd you think? Pam's awesome. They say it all the time. Pam is awesome.
I can tell you who's not saying that right now is our child.
Wow.
And I'm just like, what the heck? I don't know what else to do. At least she has... Okay, so
there's no answers.
We said this before. She was, at one point, no joke, taking at least 2 to 3 baths a day and 2 showers a day because she was worried. She was dirty from the virus, okay?
She didn't want to get sick, yeah.
Yes. Okay, but granted, we have an awesome tub, okay? It's got jets, it's 72 inches long, whatever. But still.
I feel like you're bragging in the middle of this.
It's a true story. I mean, hey, I'm going to try to pat myself on the back where I can. But she has finally dropped down to 1 bath a day, but she's in there for 2 hours because she can watch TV and watch, whatever. But still, a little bit of this paranoia has dropped off of her, but not enough that she feels like she can handle life on her own.
Mm-hmm. And this is
but,
part of what I'm so angry about. So wait, no, seriously.
No,
I think it manifests in different ways. Like I started to say a few minutes ago, I have all this stuff simmering under the surface of me. Taxes and bank fees. All right, let's just wait real quick. You give the bank your money to quote unquote keep it safe. They hang on to it and charge you $8 a month to have a checking account.
Not mine. Mine's free. But anyway.
God bless.
Yeah.
So that you let
Northwest Bank.
You let them hold your money for free?
Right.
How nice of you.
Oh.
Do you suppose they just put it in
They don't give very much.
Do you think they just put it in a box somewhere in the bank that says Pam Anderson on it? Or do you suppose they invest it and make a certain percentage while it sits in their bank? It's gross. But anyways, all that stuff simmers under my skin all the time.
Oh.
And I'm willing to go, you know what? I have a nice life. I love my life.
I have a good opulent.
No, I don't want. I've made it. I don't want things
I'll take
anymore.
Opulent, but
no, I love my life
with things. Okay.
Like, I got a wife I like. I got an awesome
You
little
like-
kid. We
Okay.
do. What?
You like your wife?
Mm,
I'm so glad.
I mean, 7 out of 10. No, I got a good wife.
Uh-huh.
I have a great kid.
Okay.
I got one good dog.
2 dickhead dogs.
But anyways, I like my life. I've made it to a point in life where I'm like, I like...
Okay, so why are you so angry?
Because all the shit that's bullshit, that's simmering under the surface all the time, that makes me angry. Taxes, bank, Amazon taking, if I sell stuff on Amazon, no matter what, they take 15% of my money. Like, just all the little things that I'm like, that's fucking bullshit, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm going camping this week and I don't give a fuck. And all of a sudden,
hopefully.
they took all that away. They took all the good stuff away. We can't go anywhere. We can't... turns out we might run out of meat. Maybe. Fuck you, cocksuckers. Like, it's just this barrage the past 40-some days of the
I'm
worst...
just going to say if we run out of meat, I'm going to be okay.
See, that's why you don't get 10 out of 10.
If we don't
Your
have meat,
noodle-loving
I'm
ass.
okay.
But
We have 3 cases of ramen noodles.
Ugh.
If I have carbs, I'm good.
But all this stuff simmering under the surface, and then this keeps dragging on, and I just want to be like, I want to rage at somebody about it all,
It's usually
but there's
me.
nobody to rage at.
Me.
No,
You do.
I'm sorry if I do.
You
I'm
shouldn't.
really sorry. I don't mean to. I'm just upset, and it bothers me that you feel like you're not being a good parent. It bothers me that my kid is completely bothered. My kid that never wants to sleep in our bed is scared to go to sleep at night because she... Holy shit, there's Piper. What you doing, buddy?
Coming down to get a drink. You forgot my drink.
I didn't know you wanted a drink.
You didn't ask me.
You didn't ask me for one. Wow.
So we just had to pause it again because Piper come rolling down and Pam had to tuck her in again. And it goes back to what I'm saying, that it makes me incredibly angry. And I've started to say this like 75 times.
Say it.
I have this level of anger that simmers under the surface every day. But I just go through my regular life and be like, oh, that kind of sucks. I kind of got fucked there, but whatever. I like my life. Like, that sucks. Like, I'm sure somebody's fucking me there, but, whatever. I like my life. And right now, everything has just gotten flipped on its head. Like, everything that you're willing to put up with, and you're like, that's just whatever. You realize the same system that imposes all of that on you is imposing this now. And when I see the mental health of my little girl, or the mental health of my wife, or the mental health of my neighbor, or the mental health of my mom, or my family, or my friends being affected by it, a level of rage builds in me that, and for no reason. If there was a real, seriously.
Okay, but
40 some days later, the amount of deaths in our state are questionable. It's not clear cut. It's questionable. Hospitals are closing. Hospitals are empty. They haven't had the fucking surge. I get at the beginning.
yeah, sure.
I get at the beginning being
That's
like,
what
we
I'm
have
saying.
no
like
idea.
I keep saying.
But we are 7-8 weeks in, and they're still not admitting. Like, that somebody should come out and go, you know what? We were trying to do the best job that we could. We were trying to protect everybody. Sorry. Open up tomorrow.
Cautious.
Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. But, nobody's going to do that because everything's a liability. The entire world is built around liability. But, if if it is the case that it's really not that big of a deal, I just wish somebody would have the freaking humanity to say so.
So those two doctors, I don't think you were watching last night. There's two doctors in California that have been putting out like basically like a vlog, I guess. And they had tested and done a lot of research, and they're saying in California, through their testing, a lot of people have antibodies, and they had it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's absolutely no reason for lockdown. There's no reason. Like at the beginning, sure, we don't know what this is, but to continue this and go, we're gonna, you're playing a politic game with people's lives that makes me so angry.
Politic or political?
I don't know. Maybe both. But you're basically going, I don't want to say we overreacted.
Again,
because I don't want to.
liability.
But there's no liability. There's nothing wrong with saying you're wrong. There's something.
Really?
Yes. If I was a doctor who left a glove inside of you, that's wrong. That I made a mistake. Okay? And you can sue me for that. But what they're doing at this point is going like, oh, okay, I'm going to put another glove inside of you just to prove to you how wrong you are about how wrong I am. That's what they're doing. Seriously. They're going, we locked you down for 40 some days. Guys, we can't really keep you locked down forever, but at least a couple more weeks. And you're probably going to have to wear a mask till Christmas. Like, the fucking gig's up, guys. Like, I get that
Maybe. I don't know.
Every day, there's not one speck anywhere in the country that you're like, oh, shit. That doesn't have some gleam of overzealous to it. So anytime you hear something that's like way like, holy shit, this is really bad, there's something else saying like, nah, that's a little
well,
over the top.
We're what? April 20 or no, now it's after midnight, so
29th.
we're April 29th. I guess we will see. But everyone's scared to do anything. Nobody wants to step on toes. Nobody wants to endanger someone else's lives. Everyone's scared to death about their friends and family, especially any that may be elderly. And even though they're saying, children can't get it, our children are scared. And clearly, as we've just explained in the last half hour, our child is kind of freaking out about stuff because you and I have newscasts on every day about whatever. So she's hearing things. We're not exactly discussing it, but she's hearing things. And I don't know how to move forward. I'm tired. I've done nothing, but I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to do everything right and follow every rule I'm supposed to, so to not hurt anybody's feelings or upset anybody, any group of anybody, anything. I just want to get my goddamn groceries and come home and do my deal for my family. I'd love to be working. Hopefully soon I will be. But it's infuriating, the toll that it's taking on people in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. And I get why you're angry, but it's hard to
So the
handle
problem
the angry.
The problem is, unless you can somehow, I don't know what the word is, inspire, rally.
No, their rallies are stupid.
No.
They're
no,
just dumb.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Unless you can get enough people to go, yep, this is all fucking broken and bullshit, and flip the game board over and go, I'm not going to put up with this. But it goes back to the exact thing that gives me angst. If I lash out anywhere, it's negative to me. And to be honest, I'm sure people hear this podcast and think, but I don't give a fuck. I've reached a level of my life of I really don't give a fuck, a singular fuck, what anybody thinks about anything. And sometimes I do feel bad. Like I'll write something on Facebook or I'll say something and somebody, it hurts their feelings or they take offense. And I genuinely like, oh, I didn't mean to like cause you grief. But I also am not, I don't care. There's nothing that short of, taking away my family that I really care about that much that anybody can do after everything that I've gone through in the past 10 years especially. And I've reached this point of anger that seems almost futile, that you can't, anything you do to try and buck the system, you're almost a martyr. Like, sure, a lot of I'm making air quotes, brave motherfuckers.
I can see them, but nobody
went
else can.
And protested last week. But that's not fucking brave. You went and drove around your car and held up signs. Fuck you. Open your fucking businesses up. Go back to work.
Well,
you know why they don't? The same reason everybody doesn't do everything. They have bills to pay. They have a family to feed.
Yes.
And they don't want to negatively impact that.
Yes.
Nobody wants to make that sacrifice, and that is the
know.
power the system holds over everybody. It makes me angry and equally sad at the same time. Because I don't want to sacrifice the life that I love for what I know that's right.
So what do you do?
You have to get enough people that have finally fucking had enough that won't let it go on anymore. Like, you need to...
Which is what that group thought they were doing.
I'm not saying they shouldn't or they're wrong. I'm saying it's empty. Holding a sign up to a flat tire doesn't put the fucking air in the tire or fix the hole. Fixing the hole and airing the tire up fixes it. You can walk around the flat tire all fucking day long going, we don't like flat tires. You should let us have air in our tires. But somebody taking a fucking patch, fixing the hole in the tire and airing the fucking tire up fixes it.
So,
and if it comes at the cost of your life or your livelihood or your family, nobody's willing to do that.
But what if people don't know how to put that air in that tire?
It's an excellent point. And that's what I keep saying. We don't have a path to fix this. They've imposed a terrible thing on us. All right.
A majority of people don't know how to put the air in that tire.
I don't. I've thought about this every which way.
All right, well then.
I don't know. Short of just fucking moving into the woods and planting your own fucking carrots and making your own beer and knitting your own clothes and killing your own food.
I can't knit worth a shit.
We'd have to learn.
I'll get neighbor Nancy. She'll knit our shit.
Well, we're going to have to take a community.
Yeah. We have a good community.
We do.
That is a bonus. I hope anyone listening has a good community.
We're the best friends in the world.
We have an amazing hood that takes care of
each other.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure what I contribute there, but there's like cooks, carpenters, sewers.
Well, I've seen
mechanics.
I've seen you do a lot of consultation through this lockdown of people painting their house and painting things.
Oh,
So
well,
you've-
yeah, but that's
You've-
not exactly
You've
a
poked your expertise in here and there.
contribution, but yeah. Yay.
As long as we're giving shout outs.
Oh yeah, who's
And-
our sponsor? What's our? We didn't even discuss that in the beginning. We just got
Kelsey's
rolling
Beard.
on you being angry. What?
Kelsey's Beard
Oh,
has sponsored
come
this
on.
podcast.
Kelsey, I'm sorry.
And Jason Mandel wanted
Jason
us to.
Mendel.
He wanted us to talk about something, but I can't remember what he asked us to talk
great.
about
Well, then you're gonna have to wait till next one.
next time.
Sorry, bro.
But I'm my big props, and I think she pretends like she doesn't listen, but she probably listens. Goes out to your sister Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm drinking
Sky vodka
Sky vodka that you left at our house.
in a 2-gallon container that you left at our house. How
I lo-
much do you love my sister?
Oh, your sister's the best.
I know.
She's such a sweetheart. And I can't imagine living in Pittsburgh.
How about
through
her
all this.
entire family?
Her whole family's
Yeah.
stellar.
Yeah.
The whole group of them. Love them to death. And I can't imagine.
Yeah, being in Pittsburgh.
I can't
Can you
imagine being
imagine?
cooped up in Pittsburgh.
We're in
At least,
bum F McKean County. Like,
right. At least we can go for like a side by side ride, or
Yeah.
you could walk down to the creek or something and get the fuck away from people.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of can't.
No.
Like every direction they go for miles
She
is
has to work
people.
at home. He
Mhm.
still has to go to work. It's craziness.
And you wonder what kind of, again, going back to the mental health toll it takes on people.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has to have.
And she's in stock market. Can you
You
imagine?
know what's weird about the stock market?
Where is it at right now?
It keeps going up.
Okay, well, good.
No.
Good for her.
How?
I don't know, but at least
That's
that
another
keeps
thing that
her
doesn't-
from getting angry phone calls of craziness.
Right, but that's another thing. So we've had record unemployment,
Right.
states ready to declare bankruptcy,
Yeah.
like all this nuttiness, and the stock market's going back up. Oil selling below zero.
Well,
Just so much craziness, and the stock market's going up. The past couple days I've been sitting there like, and I'm not smart enough to understand this.
me either. That's
But-
why I'm like, meh.
Also, it doesn't make any sense.
Meh.
Like, wouldn't it be going down?
I don't know.
Like, what weird game is going on here?
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like we've run off everybody with any sense already.
Yeah,
Oh, my
for
ranting
sure.
and raving.
I'm,
They tapped out like an hour ago. Like,
Yeah.
hard no.
as I said last time, I'm ready for bed.
All right.
Make a wish. It's
What's-
1, 2, 3, 4. 12:34.
12:34.
What's your wish? What's your wish?
My wish.
No,
is
don't say it out loud.
No,
No, then it won't come true.
it'll come true.
Hurry up.
My wish is anybody that's still listening right now comments #1234 in the comments,
Yay!
and we know that we're going to do this again next week or
Okay.
tomorrow.
Or no, we can't do it too much. People get sick of us.
All right.
Please don't be angry tomorrow.
Well,
Just get some good sleep, but hopefully our child won't be in our bed. Just get some sleep. Don't be angry tomorrow. I hate that. What do you want to have for dinner tomorrow night? Okay, no, just kidding. We'll have that
Jesus
conversation
Christ.
later.
all right.
All right, love you guys.
See everybody. Bye.
Bye.